All right, all right. Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Kol Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem, Bachak Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the Brother Schwab, I'm Mawan back at you with another lesson. And going into the title, it all goes hand in hand with the M.O.T.B. Right? And I'm gonna play a video from Instagram, all right, based on transhumanism, all right, which we've been telling you for years that be careful what you put into your body, be careful what you eat, all right. These devils is putting all types of nanotechnology, you know, geo into your body, which goes into the graft to the ene oxide. All right. These things are all made to be put in your body for a reason, because when the time comes for them to make the M.O.T.B mandatory, all right, it goes hand in hand with each other, all right, to be able to connect you to the system even more. All right. These things are put in your body to make you a super Wi-Fi, basically. All right, to connect you to everything that they're coming with in the future. All right, which it's already here. All right, the M.O.T.B is already here. It's been here. All right, it's just a matter of time of them making it, an actual mandatory thing. Okay, but nonetheless, like I said, they have so many different ways of, transhumanism, and they've been putting it in your body, for quite some time now. And this is why, you have to follow the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord has given you, because, see, the Lord keeps you away from things like that, man. All right. Not only that, first and foremost, man, these doctors that tell you, you need these jabbas and you need all this type of medication, or they convince you to eat, the portion of the king's meat. All right. This is why they're forgers of lies. They are physicians of no value, because these people believe everything that the doctor tells them, man. Everything the doctor tells them, they follow. Okay. And if a doctor comes and tells you that you need to take this jabba to make you healthy, or it's a solution to a certain ailment or ailment, whatever, these people believe it, but not understanding that they're just trying to put, certain things into your body, all right, to either destroy you, to connect you, or, just to, like I said, harm you at the end of the day, man. All right. Pretty much give you a slow death. Okay. So let me grab that preset real quick. This is Job. Right. This is Slovakia. This is Job 13:4, and it says, "But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value." Okay, forgers of lies. Let's go into that real quick. All right, forgers. All right, goes into it says to smear, plaster over, stick, glue. Yeah, so they pretty much just find ways to patch things up. They never give you an exact cure to things, man. All right, this is how do they patch you up? How do they plaster over things with their technology, their medicine? You see, their medical warfare, as we will say. Okay, it says properly to stick on as a patch, to impute falsely. You see, to impute falsely, sew up. Okay, so they just pretty much, stick on a patch, all right, and tell you everything is all good, all right, and these people believe it, all right. When you go into the Jenius Hebrew lexicon, it says to patch to it says to patch, to sew together, to frame lies. You see, And thou devisest false things upon my iniquity. Example, thou increases my sins with false charges, you see. So everything that they, speak is a frame of lies, man. All right. Everything they devise, all right, is false to make you, go off through the spirit, all right, to make you go into sin, all right. So this is why we have to fret not ourselves, man, on those that bring the wicked devices to pass, because the Lord gonna cut them off soon, man. Right? This is so, 1 second. This is Psalms 37, and let's take it from 1. It says, "Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord Yahweh and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord Yahweh, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord Yahweh, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass." Right? For he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. You see, all right, this devil, all right, brings wicked devices to pass on a daily basis, which is really the Lord that's allowing him to do it. All right, but like I said, we can't fret ourselves, meaning what? We can't be jealous, or we can't be putting ourselves down, okay, worrying, all right, what this devil's got coming for us, because the Lord, all right, has given us the spirit of understanding, all right, to be prepared for these things. Okay, as a matter of fact, it tells you when you go into the Maccabees real quick, all right, Second Maccabees 15 and verse 7. But Maccabeus had ever sure confidence that the Lord Yahushua will help him, wherefore he exalted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven, and now to expect the victory and aid which should come onto them from the Almighty Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You see, so at the end of the day, all right, the Lord has exhorted us not to fear the coming of the heathen, not to fret thyself because of the wicked man that brings wicked devices to pass. You see, because they will soon be cut off through the spirit, man. All right, so let's look at this video.
For my fellow humans, the shot is not medicine. It is an intro-body nano network, and I'm saying these things out of love for my fellow humans. The shot is not medicine. It is an intro-body nano network administered through. What they're finding in people are not blood clots. It is self-assembling, self-replicating nanotechnology. Lipid nanoparticles that have been modified on a molecular level, wrapped in pegylation, polyethylene glycol, one of the components that can be used to make hydrogel. The lipid particles are modified to be more sensitive to heat and frequency. When placed in a human body, they become excited from the heat, and that excitement, they vibrate. With that excitement, magnetofection is created, and the particles slowly drift towards each other. Hence, self-assembly. This interbody nano network.
And they showed you that real good in 2 movies, Venom, right? And you had this kids movie called Big Hero 6. All right. And basically what it was in both of those movies, Venom was like a graphene oxide. All right. And what he would do is, he would be able to, come together with more graphene oxide. You see? Same thing with Big Hero 6. if I remember right, 'cause I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I used to see it with my daughter. Um, he will fight the final boss that they fought was basically made out of graphene oxide. It was like nanoparticles coming together, into one. And that's what's happening in these people's bodies, man. Those that took the jab, all right, those that, keep eating all this trash that they putting out there in the world, okay, that's exactly what's being altered in your DNA is graphene oxide, man. And we've been saying this for years, man. All right. When you go to the stores now, you could literally take a magnet, man, and go to the stores and run it on all types of foods and meats. All right. And it'll stick because the technology that's into these foods. All right. Now when you grab food, man, you read all the time on the back it says bioengineered this product contains bioengineered ingredients. Okay, you grab your cereal, pour that shit all on the I seen somebody take a whole box of cereal, poured it into a big piece of paper, right? And he put a magnet underneath that shit, and all you saw it was pulling out all these magnetic little nanotechnology particles that are in it. You see, showing you that shit is in our foods, man. Especially if it's 3D printed, if it's not, actual real food, man. Because we ain't got real food no more. All right, these devils got all types of, 3D. They have shit that is being made from dead bodies, made with chemicals. You go look at the food ingredients on your damn box, man. That shit has 1,000 different ingredients when it should just have maybe 1, 2, tops 5 ingredients in it, and that's already pushing it to the limit. All right, but it's just showing you that nothing is natural no more. It's all being lab made for you. Okay, so best believe this is why they're having all these little things. All right, being put into your body because it's coming from the lab. And again, it goes hand in hand with the M.O.T.B. Because when the time comes that they make this thing mandatory, you're gonna have all that shit in your body, man. All right. And again, you're just gonna be gonna be connected right to the system that quick. Because your body's already been altered. The DNA's already been altered. All right. That's why they're gonna be able to play mind control. MJ, what's that called? MKG Ultra, I believe it's called. All right. They're able to, have you bugged out to voices and high pitched frequencies, low pitched frequencies, can draw your attention and make your mind do something you don't want to do. All right. Just by the little bit of technology that they've been putting in your body. Okay. And this is why you can never, count on Satan's devices, man. As the scriptures say, man, unless he gets an advantage, for we are not ignorant to Satan's devices. You can't be ignorant to the shit that's going on. You have to have a peace of mind and move with discernment to stay away from this shit. All right? So let's finish this up real quick.
The things I would do to you. Oh my God. I'm saying these things out of love for my fellow humans. The shot is perfection is created in the particle. Pegylation, polyethylene glycol, one of the components that can be used to make hydrogel. The lipid particles are modified to be more sensitive to heat and frequency. When placed in the human body, they become excited from the heat, and that excitement, they vibrate. With that excitement, magnetofection is created, and the particles slowly drift towards each other. Hence, self-assembling.
Real quick, I did a video on that like a few times on the same video, throughout the years. Go look up on Instagram, not Instagram, that's where I first seen it. But if you go to the actual video in YouTube, you put in cell phone next to graphene oxide, and they'll come up, and you'll see a guy that's doing an experiment with graphene oxide in a bowl next to his cell phone, and every time he will call his cell phone, you will see the graphene oxide start tripping. It starts tripping, it starts getting bigger, larger, and then when he will stop calling, it will shrink back up and it will go back to his normal size. All right. And imagine us that's constantly using our phones, or got our, you got 5G in your head, 6G in your damn phone, and you put it next to your head, and it's already into your body, man. You see? Imagine that. Shalom, beloved. So imagine every time that these people have 5G phones, 6G phones, and they have all that technology in their body, nanotechnology, graphene oxide. What is it doing every time you get a phone call and you putting that phone to your head, man? You're expanding it. You're making it come together, Then people wonder why they be sick, why people have fucking headaches the size of damn softballs and shit, It all goes hand in hand. All right? So let's finish what they're saying.
Is the first step to make the human body a device linked into the Internet of Bodies.
Yeah, linked into the Internet of Bodies, just like I've been saying for many videos now, many moons now. All right, your body is a frequency. Your body is electricity. Your body is going to be the Wi-Fi that connects to their system. This is why you had Bill Gates basically telling you that they don't need cell phones in the near future, because you're going to be the cell phone itself. Your body produces hertz. So with all the technology that they're putting in your body, the nanotechnology, the graphene oxide, it actually boosts up your hertz in your body. A human produces, I think it's like 100 hertz. All right. With all this shit that they put into your body, it becomes even higher. You see, they basically need that in your body to make you work more like a Wi-Fi. And this is why you have 15-minute cities, being created. This is why we live the fourth industrial revolution, right? The Internet of Things. Okay, everything is connected to the internet. Everything is digitalized. Okay. How you think you're able, without having the M.O.T.B in your actual right hand yet on your forehead, but you'll go to a device in like Amazon palm, right? Whole Foods, and you scan your palm. All right. How you think they're able to do that? Because your body, again, is like a Wi-Fi. It connects. It has a certain frequency. Let alone these people that have, the technology filled in their body already because of multiple jabs. Them niggas done took the booster with it. All right, so they got it all in their body, man. Okay, let's finish this up.
Changes human DNA, rendering the person a GMO owned by a corporation. This allows the system to freely harvest psychological, biological, genetic, and physiological data from the individual without their knowledge or permission. They are now products owned by the corporation that gave them the power. At the top of all of those corporations.
And they show you that, I keep saying, in the movie Chappie. If you haven't seen that movie, go watch it, Chappie. They can, let's see what she said again.
Data from the individual without their knowledge.
They're recording data from you. See, that's what that movie Chappie was about, man. They were recording the data from the people, and they were able to download it into like a USB. All right. And if something was to happen to you, all right, now they can take it and download it into a machine. They could download it into a robot, and they basically will tell you that you'll never die. You can live forever. All right. Why? Because they've been recording your data, and that's what it goes into. See, that's when it goes back to the M.O.T.B, right? Because when you go into that word charagma, right? Charagma goes into charax, and charax goes into grapho, and grapho meant what? All right, to record things not to be forgotten, right? Let me just grab that real quick. Revelations 13 and 16. All right. Uh, oh, my shit froze. Oh no, it didn't freeze. Right. This is charagma, right? We already know what charagma meant. Basically a stamp imprinted into your, into your body to show a badge of servitude, right? To that you're anti-Hamashiach to the system, right? And then, like I said, it goes into Karax, which that's the device that's used to put in that RFID into your body. All right. And then from Karax, it goes to Grapho. Okay. Which Grapho means, let's grab that. Right. Hold on. Right. Charagma, Karax. And then Grapho, which goes into to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down, record. You see, it's recording your data. All right. And they've been getting a jump start, a head start by putting this technology into your body. All right. D, to write to one example by writing in a written epistle to give information or directions. You see, you're basically like a GPS. All right. They're able to, pinpoint your location, your direction, right? Not only that, but they can give information, upload information into you, download information into you, all right? Directions, give you directions on how to, comply to the society. You have to follow these directions that we upload into your body, you see? And that's spiritual that she said that because, again, it goes back to Grapho, right? Let's see what she said. Come on, I hate when they do that.
I'm saying these things out of love. They are now products owned by the corporation that gave them the Pope. At the top of all of those corporations is BlackRock. Freely harvest psychological, biological, genetic, and physiological data from the individual without their knowledge or permission. They are now products owned by the corporation that gave them the Pope. At the top of all of those corporations is BlackRock and Vanguard. Information is now the new gold, and it will be the foundation for the new financial system coming, the CBDC.
Yeah, you see, and again, it goes back to Grapho, to give information, to write things not to be forgotten. All right, and now she's bringing it to the point where how it's going to be connected all to the M.O.T.B. All right, we always tell you, well, the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone have told you first, man, all roads lead to the M.O.T.B. All right, all the way down to the prophets that are bringing out this word in like manner, right, in one accord. All right, everything is going to all lead back to one thing, this M.O.T.B., which is the RFID chip. All right, because the solution is to have it all in one device, one system. Right? One device, one system. Okay. Right now, everything is still scattered. We have different devices. We have different, ways of giving information, and this is why they're going to give you that prequel, which is this digital ID, which that ain't going to last too long because honestly, it might just go straight to the M.O.T.B. instead of the digital ID because that M.O.T.B. will be that digital ID, not as a digital ID where it's a card, but because it's a it can have what is that iris identification. So I think that's the all right. It's an iris scan, basically. All right. They could have that. All right. They could take your DNA, your fingerprints, all of that through just one simple device. All right. That's why that's going to be the solution to all things. You see, literally, the solution to all things is going to be through one piece of technology, which is going to be this digital messiah. Right. So, Shalom Malak Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatah. Okay, let me finish that up.
The next step is a quantum dot tattoo that will slowly release quantum micro dots, chips, into the human body, individualizing.
Yeah, they don't even need that quantum dot tattoo. You know, that's one of the things they've been talking. You know, this is a different form of it. Okay, but they don't even need that. That's just that's a way to get people to comply. All right. So when they see that shit get put on their body, all right, then it's that much easier for them to just take the rest of the damn system. Okay. Oh, well, you've already taken this quantum dot tattoo. You know, look how it helps you out, and you know it's that much easier. You know, through convenience, all of that. So you might as well take the M.O.T.B, the RFID chip. You see, so these things they have different angles to come at you with, right? That's what the scriptures say, right?
And authenticating.
Let me grab that real quick. This is Habakkuk 1 and 15, and it reads, they take up all them with the angle, they catch them in their net and gather them in their drag, therefore they rejoice and are glad. You see, yeah. And the wicked boasteth of his heart's desires. You know, he's constantly boasting of his devices that he's about to bring out. You know, they rejoice and they're glad of it. Okay, but they take them up all with the angle, meaning what? They put all these different baits, just like a fisherman would, right, to draw attention to the fish, to the hook, for them to come to, you know, pretty much get trapped in that fishing hook. So they put in all these different types of ways to suck you in. All right, well, you're not ready for the M.O.T.B. Well, we have this quantum dot tattoo. You know, well, don't you have tattoos? A lot of you people have tattoos, right? A lot of us have tattoos from being in the world, right? And people look at it like, oh, well, I got tattoos. It ain't nothing new. You see, let me put this on this way. All right. Till eventually they get you to put the M.O.T.B. in your actual right hand or your forehead. You see? So these are different types of angles that they try to approach you with. All right, being in the society. All right, so let's go back. What the fuck? I hate when
I'm saying these things out of love for my fellow human. For the new financial system coming, the CBDC. The next step is a quantum dot tattoo that will slowly release quantum micro dots, chips, into the human body, individualizing and authenticating all data for each individual. This is part of a transhuman agenda being initiated.
So the word authenticating is to what? To verify, basically, who you are. Okay? Key words, man. Just like it tells you in the word charagma, right? It's a badge of servitude. It's a badge of authentication. You see? It's a badge of verifying who you are rooting for. You see? You're against Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, so you prove it by doing what? By, verifying with this technology. All right? And this is why the Lord told you to stay away from this technology, from this pseudoscience, right? Let's grab that real quick. This is 1 Timothy. Is it 1 Timothy? Might be 2 Timothy. This is 1 Timothy 6 and 20. It says, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called. You see, and that science goes into that pseudo, right? Which that pseudo goes into deceiving, man. All right. Real quick, science goes into gynos, all right, which goes into knowledge, signifies in general intelligence, understanding. All right. It says, me see what it has here. Science. All right, but that word gynos goes into. Hold on. Did they change this shit? I think they did. Yo, they really did. Yo, that's wild. That word science was always pseudo. Now they got it to gynos. See Esau, bro. Esau being smart with shit, man. So you don't learn. Yeah, the word gynos goes into gnosko. Yo, that shit is wild. Let me go back real quick. Okay, pseudo right here goes into falsely. The word, now they changed it to the word falsely. All right. So science falsely, all right. The word falsely goes into pseudonomous, all right. Falsely named, falsely so-called, untruly named, right? Which that's a compound word, right? Which goes into all right. The first part of it goes into pseudos, all right. Lying, deceitful, false. You see, erroneous, untrue, wicked. Okay. So this is why the Lord told you to stay away from science, falsely so-called. Why? Because it's all wicked. It's all deceit. It's all lies. It's all false. All right. And this devil's going to use his little mischief tongue, all right, to frame deceit, basically. Because that's what he does. His tongue frameth deceit. So he know how to speak sweetly with his lips, but he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. You see? So he going to throw you into a pit with his technology, man. Okay? And the second part, as a matter of fact, we ain't even got to read that part because that's really what I wanted, the pseudo. All right? That's crazy how they took it out of science, though, and they put it to falsely. All right? So let's go back to that video, finish it up.
I'm saying these things out of each individual. This is part of a transhuman agenda being initiated upon the population without their knowledge by global elitists working primarily through the WEF, the WHO, the IMF, and other global control systems that are not any part of one government. This technology,
and that's why knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. This is why prime example of why you need the Lord's wisdom. Because she said herself, without these people knowing, having no wisdom or knowledge of what's about to happen, that's why it's going to be a snare that come before the whole entire earth. You know, it's going to be a snare for everybody because they've been sleepwalking up in here, man. Sleep to what we've been telling them. And then when the time comes that it's presented as mandatory, people going to go into chaos for that. They're going to be in total confusion, you know, because they trusted in the shadow of Egypt. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, you see? So they're going to be in total shame and total confusion, not understanding what the hell is going on.
Link every human being into the Internet of Bodies. It is the foundation for a global CBDC that will be controlled with quantum systems. This technology has the capacity to fully surveil and control every individual.
See? So you heard it. All right? And she ain't lying. See, it's crazy how certain people could be just so woke to what's going on. And even them being woke, they still don't listen to the prophets, right? They look at us like we just nobodies. As a matter of fact, that's a preset. Let me grab that real quick. That's and I'll pretty much close it out because that's the point, right? When a rich man speaketh, right? This is Ecclesiasticus, what is that? 13, I believe it is. Yeah, this is 23. It says, when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith, they extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, They say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him, you see? So here it is. If they hear these top elites talk about it, now everybody wants to fear the shit. But when we were telling you about the same exact thing that they're telling you now, oh nigga, you crazy. You don't know what you talking about, bro. You know? Y'all some bums. Y'all hate too much. You know, y'all some tinfoil niggas, right? Y'all some extremists, you know. You was getting all types of crazy ass names. Okay? Conspiracy theorists. So they look at us like we're nobodies. See, they got to hear it from the horse's mouth for them to believe it. And even then they still won't believe it because then they have to see it to believe that this shit is real. And that's what's going to happen with Jake, man. This is why they're going to be destroyed, because they have no faith. You see, they don't truly believe. To them, seeing is believing. See, we believe the report without seeing it. We moved like Noah did when he was building that ark. We moved with the warning that was given to us, not yet seeing what would happen, but we moved with fear. He moved with fear, you see, until he saw that rain coming. Then he was like, yo, I knew the Lord wasn't playing, you see, and that's how we are. So, got to be prepared for what's about to come. Let's end it with this. This is Luke 21 and 34. Oops. Luke 21 and 34. And it reads, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that the day come upon you unawares. For as a snare it shall come upon all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. You see? So you got to watch and pray that you're able to escape these things, because it's not your will. All right? The Lord, all right, is going to put you in the predicament of your lifetime if you don't have the Spirit of the Lord on you, man. If you don't have the names of the Lord, you know, and His Son, all right? The Lord just going to line your ass right up. You're going to fall right into the trap. You see, because Lord, the Lord, man's goings is of the Lord. So how can a man understand his own way? He directs your steps. See, we're gonna be directed away from it because we have kept the word of His patience. So He gonna keep us from the hour of temptation. But the rest of the world's gonna get caught by the snare. They're gonna get caught up in it, and then they're gonna run to Egypt for help even more. And that's when the Lord going to basically, through the Spirit, go and cry to the gods which you have chosen, and let them deliver you out of the time, out of your tribulations, man, and the time of your tribulation. You see, you were supposed to seek to the Lord early, you know, get this word while you can, so you wouldn't be, you know, caught up in those snares, and you wouldn't perish. But hey, many are called and few are chosen at the end of the day. You see? Yeah, when they see it, it's going to be too late. Absolutely. Because they're going, by the time they look, it's going to be in their hands, man, in their system. All right? So I'm going to leave it there through the Spirit, Lord willing, that you will edify. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad. Akim and Aquat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith, and doing as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. Shalom.